Welcome to Daily Life Connection. Good to see you again. Today I want to continue from Psalm 101, verse 8. In that verse, yesterday we talked about the God who judges fairly because he knows our whole story. And today I want to talk about the God who is very patient. In the Common English Bible it says, "The Lord is compassionate and merciful, very patient." Some translations say slow to anger, some say long-suffering, but it carries the idea that God is very patient. That is a wonderful, wonderful characteristic of who our God is. I am not a patient person. Maybe I'm becoming a little more in some areas, some days, maybe. But I am not really a patient person. I'm so glad. And so many times when I'm impatient with someone, and then I find out why they're late or I find out what's going on, I think, I wish I'd have just been a little more patient about that. But the reality is, God will never say that. God will never look at you and I and say, oh, I wish I'd have been more patient. No, he is patient to the nth degree. So what is the good news about that? The good news is this: no matter how long it takes me to grow, mature, progress, God is very patient. Now, I know, we can look at that again and somebody can say, well, you're just using that as an excuse. No, we're not using that as an excuse. The reality is, as human beings, we take a long time to change. And some things in our lives just rarely or barely change. Now, I'm thankful for the times when God intervenes and does the miraculous in our lives and there's transformation. But I'm talking about generally over the long haul. We find that our progress is slow and inconsistent. And therefore, having a patient God is really important. God is never going to come to the point of where he says to you or I wish you would hurry up and grow up. I wish you'd hurry up and become more like Jesus. I wish you'd hurry up. He is not going to run out of patience with us, ever, ever. We admire people who show patience. And, God is the ultimate in that. I think one of the reasons we don't appreciate the patience of God so much is because what we think is, yes, God is slow to anger, but he will get angry. God is very patient, but there's a limit to his patience. No, there isn't. There is nowhere that there's a limit to, well, I shouldn't say that. There is a limit to the patience of God when it comes to wrong things going on and injustice. There is going to come a time when God says, okay, enough. I'm going to set things right. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that personal relationship with you and I. There is not going to come a time where God says, okay, I've given you enough chances. I've been patient enough. Now shape up and fly right or get out. Never going to happen. God is very patient. He will just take whatever time is necessary with us. Like I've told you before, I teach the motorcycle course, and it's a group course. So we have 10 or 12 or 15 students, whatever it may be. And the reality is we try to be patient with people who are struggling. But because it's a group course, we do have to move the whole class along. And for some people, they just find, I can't get the whole hang of this shifting thing. And we have to move the whole class along. And eventually they may even drop out. But that's not the way God is. You see, he doesn't have us on a group course. He has us on an individual course, and he will take whatever time is necessary. He will be patient and wait for us to get it and wait for us to try it and will let us fail and try again. He is very, very patient because he is determined to get every one of us to the final graduation of this. He is the shepherd who won't give up seeking until he finds that lost sheep. That lady, he's the lady who won't give up looking for that coin. He's the father who will not stop looking down the road until he sees that son coming home, no matter how long it takes. He's a very patient God. And that's good news today. And one last thing as I'm thinking about this, sometimes what looks like patience isn't. Sometimes I can actually look patient. Oh, Reed's being really patient today. But underneath, I'm boiling. Underneath, I'm struggling with it. Underneath, I just want to get on with things. But that's not God. At the very core of his being, he is just simply patient. And that's very good news. Let's think about it. We'll talk again tomorrow.